WWE Universe was left speechless when Jacob Fatu made a thunderous return backstage at WrestlePalooza 2025. But that wasn't even the biggest shock. Right beside him, leaning heavily on crutches and visibly battered, was none other than Roman Reigns himself. The tribal chief, who many feared was sidelined for good after a brutal assault, showed up in a way no one expected, determined, defiant, and ready to make a statement. The energy backstage instantly shifted, buzzing with tension and anticipation. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a bold declaration that Roman Reigns is far from finished. And with Jacob Fatu by his side, the WWE landscape is about to explode into chaos. The road to WrestlePalooza just got a whole lot more intense. The tribal chief's darkest hours, aftermath of Clash in Paris. Since that brutal, shocking attack at Clash in Paris, the WWE world has been holding its breath, wondering if the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns, would ever rise again. After being viciously assaulted by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker in a merciless beatdown orchestrated by the cunning Paul Heyman, Roman was left battered and broken, hospitalized with severe injuries that left fans fearing the worst. It wasn't just a physical blow, it felt like an earthquake shook the very foundation of the WWE. Seth Rollins, now the proud holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase and freshly aligned with Heyman, Reed, and Breaker, looked unstoppable. This new faction seemed like a juggernaut set to dominate the landscape, threatening to bury Roman's dynasty for good. The Bloodline, once untouchable, now seemed fragile, splintering under the weight of betrayal and brute force. A corridor falls silent, the tribal chief's shocking return. But then, just hours before WrestlePalooza 2025 was set to kick off, backstage was buzzing with an electric, nervous energy. Wrestlers, production staff, and crew members moved with a palpable sense of anticipation. But then, suddenly, a hush fell over the corridor. The unmistakable sound of crutches tapping steadily against the concrete floor cut through the tension. And there he was, Roman Reigns. But not the dominant, invincible tribal chief we've come to know. No, this time Roman leaned heavily on crutches, his body visibly battered and bruised from the savage assault. Yet those piercing eyes, burning with an unyielding fire, told a different story. The final boss was far from finished. By his side, the towering presence of Jacob Fatu, a force of nature in his own right, acted as both protector and guide, escorting Roman through a sea of stunned superstars and crew members. The silence was deafening, broken only by the rhythmic tap of crutches echoing like a heartbeat in the tense backstage hallway. Roman didn't say a word. He didn't need to. His mere presence sent a message louder than any promo or fiery speech. The tribal chief is back, and this is no ordinary return. This is a declaration of war. Bloodline power struggles, loyalty tested and divided. The return of Roman Reigns shakes the very core of the Bloodline's delicate balance. While Roman was sidelined, Solo Sikoa stepped up, working tirelessly to rebuild the faction's dominance with a new brutal squad, including the wild Tomatanga, the fierce Tongaloa, and the powerhouse Jeff Cobb. This new lineup has carved out its own path, forging a ruthless alliance that commands respect and fear. But now, with the original tribal chief back and the explosive presence of Jacob Fatu at his side, the question hanging in the air is clear. Where does the real loyalty lie? Will the Bloodline follow Solo's lead, or does Roman's return ignite a power struggle for control? The tensions within the faction are more volatile than ever, with rivalries simmering beneath the surface and alliances teetering on the edge of collapse. A shattered empire and new threats emerge. Paul Heyman's meticulously crafted empire, once looking unstoppable with Rollins, Reed, and Breakker, has been thrown into disarray. Seth Rollins, ever the opportunist, now faces a new, vengeful obstacle in Roman Reigns. The man they tried to bury has not only survived, but returned stronger in spirit, and backed by a lethal ally in Jacob Fatu. For Bronson Reed and Braun Breakker, the sight of Roman walking back into the building, battered but unbowed, must have sent a shiver down their spines. The very foundation of their recent dominance is threatened, and the landscape of WrestlePalooza has been flipped on its head. Now, the question isn't if Roman will seek revenge. It's when and how this explosive conflict will finally erupt. The air is thick with anticipation as everyone wonders what the tribal chief has in store. The WWE Universe reacts: shock, speculation, and excitement. The backstage reaction was immediate and intense. Superstars from every corner of the locker room were seen whispering in corners, eyes wide with disbelief and excitement. This wasn't just a comeback. It was a seismic shift in the WWE's power dynamics. Fans at home are losing their minds too. Social media exploded with speculation, theories, and pure hype about what Roman's return means for WrestlePalooza and beyond. Will Solo Sikoa and Roman clash? Could Jacob Fatu's presence signal a new Bloodline era or a full-on faction war? The possibilities are endless, and WWE storytelling at its finest keeps us all guessing. Don't miss a beat, your front row seat to history. If your mind is blown by this news, if you're as hyped as we are, then you have to subscribe right now. We'll be bringing you every single update, every backstage detail, and exclusive coverage of WrestlePalooza as this story unfolds live before our eyes. Trust me, you want to be front and center for every shock, every alliance, every betrayal, and every epic showdown. The road ahead is wild, unpredictable, and full of jaw-dropping moments. So buckle up, WWE Universe. This saga is just getting started.